Hello. Hi. My name is Dr. Cheryl Meyer, and I'm a psychologist. Today we're going to talk about keeping your heart quiet, like not letting your heart be troubled, not letting it go into anxiety. It's just, look, I often say I help people navigate through their spiritual awakening, and all of life is a spiritual awakening. So I welcome you. This is just what has been showing up in my life. I was in a car accident a few weeks ago, and so it's like we can have PTSD. It can bring up some old primal fear from childhood, that you're not protected and that you're not cared for, or, that bad things are going to happen, or whatever, whatever was in there before. It's just like it gives it an opportunity to clean it out. So don't be worried about it. I'm going to just sit down here. Don't be worried about it. A roly-poly. I'm noticing a bunch of ants and then a roly-poly, It's like, so when you're in your fear brain, right, then you'll see everything fear, fear, fear. And I was listening to this great video the other day, right? This teaching from LaToya, and she was saying she couldn't remember where she heard it from or if it just came to her heart. But that, look, we have belief. You have belief ability. So let's belief ability. So let's say you have this superpower where you have energy every day, like give us this day our daily bread. And I welcome all religions. I always say that, but you have a certain amount of belief energy, let's say. And if I put all my energy in fear, then it's just like if they say, don't look for a red car, and then you see red car everywhere, or don't look for a unicorn. I do that sometimes. And then unicorns, they're like these magical creatures. They turn up everywhere. And so the key to this, what I found, is like the MasterCard, if you want to talk about, like, I've got the Joker, and it's like, or the ace in the pocket, is stop and be present, right? I'll talk to you about the fear again, but experience yourself as a soul in this body. And if that's too much of a big concept, just take a breath. Feel yourself. Notice the sunlight. Notice, like, I have choices here, you have choices here. You don't even have to notice that. Just be present in this moment. Oh, look at those yellow flowers. And hear the birds. I just saw a baby bird. And so imagine that you have a superpower of belief energy. Every day you have a certain amount, units of energy. You could spend that in thinking about the past and being sad about something, or glorifying the past, or being fearful of something in the future, or presence power, being really present, deeply present. And like, it's so rich. It's so rich when you're like, imagine if someone's really present with you, how loved you feel. This is how you feel in each moment. You're present while you're driving, not trying to get somewhere else. You're present with your food. You appreciate it. You're present with your workout, with your exercise. You just feel all the blood rushing through your body and your muscles getting stronger, and you feel yourself present with another person, and you're interacting. And I pray sometimes, bless this conversation, with, always I want to talk about eternal things, but like with things that are highest love, with ways we can encourage each other, so it's not just useless conversation or whatever, where we're just gossiping or complaining or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like when you bless your food, you're bringing it up to the divine. You're asking the divine to enter into the atoms and molecules and nutrition of your food. You're bringing a higher reality into that on earth as it is in heaven, if you understand that. And so fear is if you fuel that, then it's this is what Latoya was saying. Latoya Okia, OKIA. She was saying that, and because she's living this in her life, so I just, right at this moment, you know what I mean? I always say that. She's on fire. She's on fire. She's from the South. But she was saying, fear is faith in reverse. And it was really coming to me because this is a season where I was working on my fear again. Like God, the divine love, divine love works on things with you in seasons, Look at the sun rays, especially if you're open to it, I mean, divine love is always working anyway, because it's a mystery of love that's always calling you into more love. But you can choose to yield yourself and work with this love. But, if I had a lot of fear in childhood where I was punished for things or spanked for stupid things that I ought not to have been spanked for, then I learned to be afraid of stupid things that I ought not to be afraid of, And so you can have compassion for me, I can have compassion for you, but you wouldn't want me to stay scared the rest of my life, That will block out love, okay? So there's a verse that says, and don't worry about me just saying this, look at it like a proverb or a way of wisdom. Like if the divine love created the universe, then look at this as someone came to an understanding of how the divine love, if you get offended by the word God, created this world, because all sorts of people come here. And so I want you all to feel welcome, right? But I don't want to cut out like these higher truths. I saw a truck on the way here and it said superior, and it was really sticking out in my heart. And it was like, oh yeah, we have access to a superior way to live. And we can activate that in our lives, or we can live in an inferior way. And an inferior way is living according to our ego, to this fear, these lies, these I'm not enough and I have to work and work and work to be enough. And anyway, there's lots more to that. But right now we're focusing on, there's a verse that says, for God, the divine love, did not give us a spirit of fear. That's not the spirit of God, but he gave us one of power and love and self-discipline, or sound mind, right? But a simple way to do this, right, is, I was just so blown away this morning. I was like, what? Why didn't I see this logic before? If Christ, even people believe that Christ is this amazing teacher that came on earth that taught us about love. Well, okay, fine. Even if he was just that, he said, don't let your heart be troubled. These are the words that are captured by him. Don't let your heart be, the word in Greek, terasso. I took Greek some, but I'm not like super fluent at it. But I looked at it. It means to toss about. Don't let your heart be disquieted. And so what I was getting, because I meditated for an hour on this morning, is that you're not, the natural state of your heart, you see, I dropped down into my heart, is quiet. That's the natural state. And so it's disquieted is unnatural. And so always the enemy of our soul, let's say, oh, someone said the inner me, it's not the inner me, your soul self, but, your programmed self, or the enemy of our soul, or the church will teach it's the world, the flesh, and the devil that deceive you. Not all the things in the world, because God created the world. But anyway, I can't get into all of that right now. That would be a very long video. But so just know that the programming of your past, the lie is that you have to be disquieted. I learned from being spanked, because I was afraid of the dark at age 4, and my grandfather spanked me Anyway, that's in a different video if you want to look at that. But really, really hard. Lots of people have had lots worse than that, but I'm not going to minimize that, because it entrained my body to go in this state of fear, and that I wasn't protected, and that men are not protective but punishing, and they hurt you. And go figure, how that's played out in my life. But so if Christ came and he wants to free me from all things broken, and give me enlightenment, so that my life is lightened up, and I enjoy men and women and people, and I enjoy myself, because there's masculine parts of myself, and so I would distrust my own self too if I distrust all men, and thought they were all like that one experience. So I read a long time ago in like a Torah, in a Jewish commentary of the first 5 books, this rabbi said, always go back. This is a secret code, right? Always you can, it's almost 11:11 into this video too. You can always go back to the first time, whatever that word is that's used in the Bible, and that will give you the clearest definition of what that word is. And so I do that all the time. And I don't know if I tell you guys that in my video, if I've said it before, that's one of the secret ways I do this. And so when I look up, and I don't always just stay in my head, usually I'm just in my heart, just being present with God. But because I did a lot of head knowledge, getting my doctorate in psychology and studying, and now, anyway, is to be disquieted. The first time that's in the New Testament, because Christ was speaking in the Gospels in the New Testament, was when it said Herod found out the 3 wise men. Imagine, they're wise kings, right? And they're coming to seek out this king, that they had a prophecy, they had a knowing inside of them that the Messiah was going to come, and that the Savior of the world was going to come and be born as a king, as a new king. And it said Herod's heart was disquieted. It was tossed about. It was in fear, right? And so all of these words are meant to be active for us. They're like a matrix. You can enter in this 5-dimensional space, and like the sun rays showing up for us right here. It's just like, let it light you up and teach you truths about your own life. All right, so disquieted, Herod's heart, like this is someone like the Buddha predicted the Christ coming, and all these people have predicted it, but it's like, instead of Herod being overjoyed and being like, this is amazing, I can't believe someone's coming that wants to reconcile me with divine love, with God, whatever the mystery of that is. Instead, he was looking with his earthly eyes, and so he was in fear, right? And so if I look with my earthly eyes, after the car accident, I'm going to be afraid in all cars. Or if I was hurt so badly by a person I trusted, my grandfather, then all men that I trust are going to hurt me, and like I can't live like that, Or I smelled there's fire in the air, and I was just like, there's fire by my house right now. And I was like, well, God, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to take anything with me? And he's like, nope. And I'm like, all right, I just leave with the clothes on my back today, not even any extra jewelry or anything. If my house burns down, then, he told me in my heart he'd replace it. And it doesn't even matter if he replaces it, because this freedom that I have, and this love and this joy and this way to get out of this fear and this sadness and this depression that has plagued my life, like it's worth more than 1 million houses or anything that I have in my house. So that's why I take time to teach you guys, because I know that there are other people of you that want to know a superior love, and that want to be set free, and that want to learn how to get out of this, this madness that we've been living in, the torture of the fear that we would go back to. So let not your heart be troubled. That's John 14:1. He's the mystic gospel teller, he's the mystic one that saw Jesus in a mystic way. Look what the answer is. It says, trust in God, put your confidence in God, put it also in me. Much love.